Welcome back to another episode of Joe the Show podcast. This is episode 10. Today is going to be a sports driven podcast. For the next following podcast, I'm going to kind of get my preview of this coming NFL season 2022 through 2023. Today we're going to be overlooking the NFC West Division, which includes the Arizona Cardinals, the LA Rams, Seattle Seahawks, and San Francisco 49ers. So I want to kind of run through, as I'm doing these breakdowns of each team, kind of run through of where I predict each team will fall in terms of the division, what expectations I have for each team, and kind of give a overlook of where I think this team fits in the NFL picture moving forward. Um, so with that being said, we're going to start with the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona was a team last year that started off pretty hot. I think they were 11-0 before their first defeat. They kind of tailed off at the end of the season and in the playoffs. They had a lot of injuries. And eventually they end up losing to the defending Super Bowl champs, LA Rams. So with their situation, we know in the offseason they had to lock up Kyler Murray. They eventually did. You bring back James Conner, AJ Green, Zach Ertz gets another year, for a full training camp because he got traded in mid-season. DeAndre Hopkins will be suspended for the first 6 games as of right now. So that's probably definitely going to affect them for the first month and a half of the regular season. And then they lost Chandler Jones on defense. So I think the Arizona Cardinals are pretty much going to finish competing for second or third. I don't think they are going to come close to a first place divisional team this year. I just feel like they have a lot of question marks on the O-line. The O-line is okay, but not great. Even though their offensive weapons can be explosive, I feel like a lot of them are kind of aging. So we're gonna have to see how they perform. And the defense is pretty solid. I think their defense is going to carry this team to a lot of wins. Maybe sneak them into a playoff spot. But as of right now, I do not have them as a playoff team. We'll see moving forward, how they shape out. But, having a young star in Kyler Murray, it definitely helps you and definitely puts you in the right position, in the right place moving forward. And you have a number one target, DeAndre Hopkins, who, when healthy, when at his peak, can be the best receiver in the game. So they definitely have a lot of pieces moving forward. But like I said, second or third in this division and possibly missing the playoffs. I would like to move to the divisional champs, LA Rams. They pretty much, if I'm being honest, they pretty much um, upgraded in a lot of ways because on defense, the big acquisition of Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner has been one of the best linebackers in the league for the last decade. You already had Aaron Donald and of course Jalen Ramsey, and with that dynamic, I think they're bound to have the best defense this year. It's very rare where you have the best D lineman, best linebacker, and best corner all on the same team at once. So I think that's definitely going to plan out. Their defense definitely um, carried them, in my opinion, carried them through a lot of playoff wins, probably except for Tampa Bay uh, playoff game. But their defense is definitely going to be elite, and I think it's going to definitely be a lot better, definitely improve on last year. Of course, the offense, as of right now, they have lost out on Odell Beckham, but Maybe they bring him back, which will only make it more explosive. But to add Allen Robinson and kind of replace him with Odell, that's definitely to me. Not saying Allen Robinson as a talent is better than Odell, but Allen Robinson in this system to me is going to be extremely great. He's very versatile. He's been one of my favorite wide receivers. I think he was definitely underutilized in Chicago. But I'm glad he's going to get his chance to show that he's a true number one receiver in this league and he can carry his own weight when asked to. And then of course you got Matthew Stafford at the helm with some pretty decent running backs in the backfield with Darrell Henderson and Cam Akers. So I think LA Rams, I have them winning this division. As of right now, I have them in the NFC Championship. Um, they have as good as any chance. They have as good of a chance to win another Super Bowl this year as any team, and I think they're in a great position to capitalize off of that. And uh, yeah, I think to be honest, it's gonna be a pretty easy regular season for this team. With all um, injuries aside, I think if the key pieces can stay healthy, I expect an easily 13-win team this year from LA Rams, and them to win the division and be one of the two teams in the NFC Championship. Moving on to the Seattle Seahawks. As you know, they traded Russell Wilson in the offseason. So the quarterback situation, anybody who watches football knows that the quarterback position is the most um, demanding position in the NFL. It's the most important position in the NFL only because you you kind of needed to uh, you kind of need that position locked down. You need a leader at the helm, someone who can run the offense, and someone who can, when the ball is in his hands, he could pretty much deliver the goods. And right now they have Geno Smith, they have Drew Lock and Jacob Eason. I like Jacob Eason coming out of college, but uh, sometimes those good or great college players sometimes just don't play out in the NFL. So we'll see, where his future lands. Drew Lock, another talented guy in college and in the pros. He hasn't been crazy productive in terms of wins and losses, but definitely has shown some skills and capability. Geno Smith, has been a journeyman for pretty much the last couple of years. So I don't think the Seahawks, while they do have a few pieces that you might like, I think easily they're going to finish last place in the division. Maybe even try to tank to become the worst team in NFL this year. Well, I shouldn't say tank because they still have Pete Carroll and a few veteran pieces. I think going to win, but I just think it's just going to plan out that way where they might be one of the worst teams in the league this year and maybe get a top pick and finally find that quarterback in the draft next year with a lot of future prospects coming up. Um, yeah, just looking at their roster now, obviously you got Rashad Penny, you got a young prospect in Kenneth Walker who should be really good. Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Noah Fant, pretty good tight end. The O line is not that great, but you pick up Shelby Harris in the trade. You still got Jamal Adams, you still got Quandre Diggs, who are Pro Bowl caliber players. So this team is it's definitely if this team still had Russell Wilson, it definitely could be competing for a playoff spot. But because they don't have a quarterback you can honestly trust right now, I don't think they're going to be pretty good. Last place is where I see this team in the NFC West Division. Moving on to the 49ers. Um, Same thing with the Seattle Seahawks. It's the quarterback question mark. We all know that they're kind of full throttle on Trey Lance right now. Which honestly, if he's ready to go, I think he should go ahead and do it. If you already know that you're trying to build for the future and you want this young prospect to be part of the future. I think it's time to go ahead and put him in. Um, it all depends on Trey Lance because everything else on this roster is pretty good. They could improve a little bit in some areas, like in the secondary. They still, they have Jimmy Ward. They did pick a Charvarius Ward from the Kansas City Chiefs, but he's an all right player. I don't think his ceiling is as high as most people might think. Uh, you got a young prospect in Emmanuel Mosley. Um, you know, their secondary could definitely use some improvement. But their front seven is where the money is, where they have Eric Armstead, still got Javon Kinlaw, you got Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, who's good as any linebacker in the league, Dre Greenlaw. So, and then on offense, you have, George Kittle, you got Juszczyk, you got Jawan Jennings, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Elijah Mitchell. You got a few other pieces. Like, this team is definitely, if Trey Lance is as bit of Patrick Mahomes, his second year in the league, the 49ers could definitely be competing for a championship this year with everything else they have on the roster. I have this team, battling with the Arizona Cardinals for the second and third in the division. Like I said, it just depends on Trey Lance. If Trey Lance performs the way, a lot of people think he may, um, I think they'll finish second in division and make the playoffs and, make it tough on any team that plays them during the playoff run. As you can see last year, where they were able to get to the NFC Championship. And other news and sports, the WNBA season almost wrapping up. Last night there was an amazing game between the New York Liberty and the Dallas Wings. Marina Mammary versus Sabrina Ionescu. That battle. If you like basketball, go look up New York Liberty versus Dallas Wings. Um, Monday, August 8th, 2022. I'm going ahead and put it on record. This was an amazing game from both of them. Amazing game from both teams, back and forth until fourth quarter, where the Dallas Wings were able to pull away. The WNBA playoffs, I've already said on record on this podcast many times. I think this is going to be the best playoffs that they've had in a long time. I think it's most likely just due to the increase of teams they're allowing in the playoffs and the playoff format that they're planning on implementing. Uh, you know, uh, New York Liberty, they're trying to secure their spot in the playoffs. If they're able to get in, Sabrina Ionescu is a much watched player as any woman in the WNBA right now. So uh, WNBA, they're on a hot streak. I'm all about it. I can't wait till the playoffs start, so I can get these analysis up and cover what exactly going down in between each series. Friday, hopefully I can release another podcast, another episode. Um, Hopefully by that time new music has released that I can kind of share with you guys what I plan on listening to and kind of give my predictions going into them. Yeah, but for now, that's pretty much it today. NFC West Division. Like I said, I have Rams, Niners, Arizona Cardinals, and the Seattle Seahawks in that order. With the top two teams making the playoffs. Next time, I think we'll probably go NFC South. We have the Buccaneers, the Saints, Panthers, and the Falcons. Appreciate you guys' support. If you listen all the way through, comment down below your opinions on this division. Comment down below if you're interested in the WNBA, who you have, your top three teams that you have winning the chip. And if you haven't checked out the previous 9 episodes, I recommend checking those out. And I appreciate anybody who's giving this podcast a chance. Like I said, I'm self-sufficient right now, so I'm just trying to just lay down a platform where debates can start. you know, I watch a lot of sports TV, growing up. So I was like, man, this seemed like a cool idea if I could just make my own and start my own. And sometimes it's hard to reach out to um, different people, but I'm very open. They're very capable and willing to reach out and discuss with anybody. So love and peace to everyone. Enjoy your day. Have a great rest of the week and see you next time. Peace out.